Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man. And what do we have here? Oh, it says Singer model 9410. And this is a pretty unique little machine in that the entire frame is made out of a composite, maybe like ceramic, like your coffee mug. And it was made to be recycled. As a matter of fact, I saw, I think, a video where this was... they put it on a crusher and they crush it, it turns to powder, and a magnet goes over and lifts off all the metal parts, and then you recycle it. So it's unique in that regard, but it's also unique in another special way I'll get to in just a second. This came in for service. I've been sitting for a long time making a bad stitch, and normally these make a bad stitch. It has to do with the thread or threading. These have to be threaded absolutely by rote. Step one, lift the presser foot up. You can see the movement here. When that presser foot moves, that actually spreads the tension disc apart. You go around all the way down, don't thread the needle, and then before you thread the needle, you make sure you pull, make sure it's seated. You lower the presser foot, and then you pull down on the thread, and if it feels like someone's got a hold of it and won't let go, you've threaded it correctly. If it doesn't feel like that, you need to try it again, because the thread didn't slip in between the disc. It's hidden back there and you can't tell if it's in there or not, and chances are it's not. These are going to be misthreaded more often than not, and of course it had other issues that need to be serviced and dry as a bone, anything. But it's working real well now. It's not a bad little machine. There's worse ones you can get, but this is not the one that's heavy duty. If you're looking for one that's going to really knock it out of the park, this is for shirts and jammies and blouses and pillowcases, and you got to be real careful with it because it has composite gears down underneath, and I mean it'll sew. It'll do a nice job, nice zigzag, got some nice patterns and stretch stitches. Not a bad machine. When these first came out, people lined up to buy them because it had a lot of nice features. And what this has is the air control, and that is a pretty unique little deal in that it has this foot control that has a hollow tube that goes to a transducer, which is mounted down underneath, and the transducer takes the little tube, goes on the end of the transducer like so, and then it's connected to your foot control, which is this. Inside here there's just a little air bulb, just a little bulb in there, and it puts a little puff of air in the tube. And the transducer, of course, takes it, slides it over, makes the contacts go to get your varying speed. And it's one of those things that Singer said, here's something we must do for some reason, and I don't know why they did it, but they did it. But what the good part of it is, I don't know if they did this intentionally or it just turned out that way, but when you step on the gas, a little bulb, but you can take this little tube off the end and put on. See, I have a replacement tube that you can get from Singer. It's a replacement tube, and it doesn't have the little deal. It just has an open valve on the end, just an open hole. So you can put that on there, and what you can do is you put this end in your mouth and you blow on it. I have my mouth now, you can tell. And I blow on it just like it was a musical instrument. And a lady called me one time and she says she had a client of hers who was unable to use his legs and hands, but he wanted to sew, and she had found out that via one of these, someone discovered that you could find somebody who was unable to use their hands or their legs, maybe use their hands but not their legs, step on the gas. They could get one of these and just take the foot control, snip the end of it off, and put it in their mouth, and away they go. And I think that's awesome. I had no idea that that could be done, but these machines are out there, and if someone has that situation, the 9410, I think a 6235, any of the ones that has the transducer, and you look on the end there and you'll see where it plugs in on the side. Right there, it plugs in on the side, and then down underneath where the transducer actually hangs out, this little guy hangs out right down under here, and the little deal goes to the side, and that's where it works electronically. So if you get one of these, look for that in there, and you got one of these machines. Okay, and this thing here, what makes it kind of weak is that it has gears right here that are plastic, and they will break. These nylon ones over here, I've never seen them break, and I've seen people try to break them, sewing on some crazy stuff, but what will break is the feed gear. You got to keep this lubricated right here. It has to be kept, they grease it, but still you need to oil it. Everything needs to be oiled down here, and it's got a good strong motor. It's not a bad little machine if you just don't let it get outside of its capabilities, which is real easy to do with machines nowadays, because everybody's got the whole heavy duty on the brain thing. They think anything that says Singer and it feels heavy, wow, that must be a real heavy duty machine. Well, it's a good little machine. It's not bad, and it has some great capabilities. The one I think the coolest is to be able to use it if you're wanting to sew and you don't have use of your toesies and your footsies and you can't step on the gas. So great little machine for that, and it's not a bad little machine just to sew on. I mean, it's not heavy duty, it's not cast iron, it's not steel, but it's got some possibilities. And if you get a chance to get one of these, just make sure you plug it in, make sure that transducer works, make sure that the feeder feeds, make sure that everything turns around, because it could be broken. Very common to have these broken, and usually the machine won't break itself. It's when someone tries to force it by turning the hand wheel, because it won't climb over a denim seam or something like that, so the customer actually turns the hand wheel and breaks it. So don't force them, don't make them sew anything they don't want to sew, and you'll get some service out of them. If you buy them used, beware, be careful, watch out for them. Singer model 9410.